3, 2.
What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Another episode of American Grit. Super excited because, you know, we got a full house, meaning we got 4 people on the panel. We got a guest who is on the panel with us. You're going to find out who they are next. But right now, let's get it.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
There we go.
Isn't that a good song?
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time hearing it.
This is your first time?
What?
We popped your cherry
I'm
time.
here for it. I mean, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Next week is the finale.
Why are you looking?
I mean, but you said you have moves. I want to see your moves.
Jesus is watching.
Yvette.
Jesus is
He's
watching.
always watching, but that don't mean you can't do any moves.
All right.
Okay.
That's
okay.
it. That's it, guys.
Carla, what you got?
Oh, this is just...
Oh, praise him. Oh, Jesus is watching, everybody.
Jesus is watching. Wait till the Holy Spirit comes into me. Then you'll really see it go.
Oh, gosh. What church is
I'll be.
The Holy Spirit.
That's the church of they made Yvette twerk at the,
The
age
church
of 8.
Beyonce? Is
That is the church of like,
Beyonce?
look at my granddaughter, look what she can do, yay! That's what they were doing.
Oh, man. What's up, everybody? You know what it is. Your boy's back. Lem Gonsalves here. They tried to clown last week.
Let me never went anywhere. You were right here.
You never went anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You were here the whole
Anyway,
time.
Anyway, you can find me online at The Poet Saint all day, every day. Also, you can check out my website, stayonthemic.com. Shout out to our engineer, Josh.
Get it.
Hi, Josh.
What up?
Hold it down. Right next to me is the amazing, the talented, the twerk extraordinary, evidently.
I mean, we're learning all sorts of things.
You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yvette.
Yes, the twerk extraordinaire, apparently, but you can always find me on Sports and Sass with 3 S's on Twitter and 2 S's on Instagram. And to my left, I have the beautiful Miss Carla, who I said from the beginning, and quote, I said, that's my girl.
You did say that was your girl.
There you
You
go.
said
Like
her
love
girl.
at first sight.
I know,
that's
my
cool.
God.
That is
Yeah.
my name.
And I'm
like,
just so you guys know, I keep looking at her
Yeah.
rack just because I don't have one, so I'm just like, yes.
Carla's in the building.
Get it.
Hey, everybody.
AKA, what is it? Miss
Misconception.
Miss
Compton.
Compton.
That's what you had forgotten.
Is in the house. I can't. Miss Compton. Do you understand? I've been wanting to meet a Miss Compton. Like, for real. I think that's hella dope.
Yeah, you could have met me off Willowbrook and Rosecrans.
I
I
damn.
live by the metro.
Now it's making my dreams come true.
Get it.
What up, Carla? How you doing?
I'm doing great this afternoon with you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited to have
Pleasure
you.
meeting you guys.
Yeah,
I caught up
absolutely.
on all your episodes and
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Right.
Like, all right.
Like my type of people.
Absolutely. You know how we do. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, also down the anchor, my A1 since day one, Ty Matthews in the building.
Get it. What to do?
What to do?
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Of course, as always.
As always.
We, you know, you were a little quiet last week.
Yeah.
But we made it through.
More
We made it
quiet
through.
than usual. You were very absent.
Right.
But you know, we made it. You're more animated this week.
Yeah.
We're almost at the end. We're almost at the end of the season.
We are also. Where
the hell did the season go?
Almost at the end.
Well, they cut it. So that's what happened.
That's what we were talking about. We're like,
I'm like, this is
how
a
many
short
double eliminations could there be in
So many.
one season?
Get everyone the hell out of
There
here.
was like 8 double eliminations this season. It was a lot. It was a lot.
Did you see me doing the math? I was like,
we gotta cut this cast down.
It was like 8 double eliminations, and they're doing like a 2-hour finale. So they're putting 2 episodes in the finale. So for whatever reason,
Gonna have a lot to talk about.
it's a lot to talk about next week.
drink
But
some
you
hot
know,
tea.
we are also trying to get someone on Skype. So hopefully that works out because I'm excited to talk to them.
Trying.
Exactly. But Carla is with us, and unfortunately, you were eliminated this particular episode. And if my memory serves me correct, you probably you were the person that went into the elimination challenge the most. Is that correct?
I went in 3 times.
Yes.
Damn.
Yes.
Yes, I know.
Yes.
They really wanted to see if Compton knew what's up.
I'm trying Compton's patience. I mean, like, for real, though. Like, I mean, did people, I mean, I know initially, you know, people got to go in, right? And I know when you went in that second time, because it was literally back to back.
Yeah.
You were feeling some kind of way. Take us back to that moment. What was that?
Well, yeah, I was feeling some kind of way because I have skin allergies because I'm used to this beautiful California weather.
Absolutely.
You threw me in Georgia, and I am allergic to everything, like everything.
gosh.
So I was like every day on Dayquil, Benadryl, any kind of antihistamine. I was on it because my skin kept reacting to the bug repellent.
Oh,
And
really?
you know, we're right by the lake, so
Yeah, so you have
imagine-
mosquitoes everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. And then I had gotten really sick. The first challenge where they sunk us in the water, you saw
yeah.
I was shaking the whole time, right?
Yeah.
I got dreadfully sick. Dreadfully sick to the point where, like, you guys see my skin doesn't break out. It was like I had like ronchas. I don't know how to say it in English.
Oh my God.
But it was like,
Yeah, like
That's like
well,
the-
yeah, like what,
Yeah.
like
that's
just
why,
irritated.
Yeah,
like,
that's why I was,
Yeah, I
putting
can't-
on so much makeup because it was like, man, I was looking like Frodo. I was like,
That's
I'm
why.
on Nash.
No baggage.
Like,
That's
I'm
why
like,
it was so
and then
fun.
Back
I
to the
looked,
Hobbit.
then I looked so swollen. I was like, man, so I'm retaining all this water.
Yeah.
I was like, my face looks busted. I was like, this is.
This is
That's
how-
why.
this
That's why I
ain't
was like,
funny.
Ricky. All right, Ricky's
That-
gonna wait
that-
a little bit.
Got it.
that's why. Yeah, that's why she had to put her makeup
All right,
on. Hey,
all
I know,
right,
I know
all
what
right.
it's like when you look like crap. You just gotta.
I was on a whole nother level because I was like, man, I didn't think this one through. Like, especially too when you're like sick, it's just like everything. You don't like nobody. You don't want to talk to anybody.
Right.
And I was like, man, well, I'm here. I went through the extensive process of getting here. I was like, and I put everything on the line. Like, I left home and I was like, man, I ain't going back to no job.
Yeah.
I was like, this better
Do or
work.
die. It's do or
Yeah,
die.
I was like, I'm not certain of what's gonna happen, but I was there to win. I was there to compete.
Right.
Like everybody else was. I was just upfront about it.
I think you're definitely a formidable competitor. People saw you as a threat.
Yeah.
I would be safe to say the strongest woman, hands down, there out of everyone. And people saw that. I feel like you going in this particular time, I know I'm kind of jumping around, but just with Ricky feeling like how she felt when you went in against two strong males. And that was courtesy of Chloe, who put you in. Where actually you had to go in because you were the only person left on your team, and then she put the two guys in there. I know Ricky had an issue, and she spoke to Chloe about it because she felt they had a pact. Like, look, we only people that have one person. What are you doing this for? Did you feel any certain way, or was it just like, well, it's two people, I just got to beat them?
Well, to me, it was like, because that one time when she came into my room to tell me what she got mad, you act like I didn't already see that coming.
Right.
But what was I there for? I was trying to learn how to be a good team player,
Right.
and not be a dictator. I was gonna let this woman lead me. So all I did was like, you know what? I have a problem letting people lead me because they usually lead me out of here.
Yes.
So I was like, you know what? I'm here to learn something. Let's learn it. So I was like, I'm going to listen to her. Whatever she tells me to do, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to abide by her orders. And I did.
And it didn't bother you that she was like, why didn't you pick two weaker people? Because I would have been pissed. Like,
No, yeah. Well, she was so more upset. So I was just trying to calm Ricky down.
Right.
Because I was like, Ricky, like, you didn't see this?
And you
Like,
can tell,
Ricky,
you can tell in that
Yeah,
scene.
I'm
You're
just
like,
like, Ricky, like, come on. Like, at the end of the day, I was like, you got to understand, everybody's going to look out for themselves.
Right.
And she looked out for her team and stuff like that, and she did what she had to do. So, it just didn't surprise me.
It didn't surprise you.
It didn't surprise me, and at the end of the day, I just was like, okay, then
Right.
let's go again.
Right.
Let's go again.
Yeah,
Let's,
it's time to
let's-
go.
And even that first double elimination, I didn't go in, like, I'm gonna beat these guys.
Right.
No, if they would have played my interview, I'd be like, man, this competition, like, I gotta have my A game. Like, I was like, okay, miracles is about to happen. I was like, no, and that's why I was like, when I was holding that, I had to just zone out. I had to use every bit of my mental strength to just zone out, because it was, with the mosquitoes biting me, and they were even drawing blood, and it was just.
And weren't there fish in the water? And
yeah, that's
all of
what
that.
that's what got George.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Let's go back to the front of the episode. So, of course, your teammate ended up getting eliminated the previous. Richard. Shout out to Richard. Vape King.
Twisted Vape 420 on YouTube.
And so, now you're by yourself, right? And so, of course, a lot of people aren't happy about Allison being back. And, you know, we had a conversation with Janessa about that. And she had issues with how she
everyone's had
was.
issues.
Yeah. Did you have any issues with how Allison kind of ran herself?
No, in the last episode I said I pulled her aside because I
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, you know what? I like to at least understand people.
Right.
Like, to me, I do not judge because that is the first thing people has always done to me. And it's like, you have no idea where I come from, you know, why I act the way I act.
Right.
I don't like to do the same thing towards other people. So I was like, you know what, I may be leaving, but the whole point is, like, let me, if I have some words of wisdom for this woman, let me at least see where she's at, because, you know, over the course of conversation, I was hearing her say things about her dad and her dealing with her dad that died of cancer and stuff. And I was like, well, I've been through the same thing. So at least let me share with you in hopes I could possibly help her and help me understand her.
Right.
Because half the problem with people is they don't seek to understand. They're just quick. It's so much more easier to judge somebody.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So to sit there and take time and have that conversation I had with her. And the thing is, I'm used to it, you know. I'm used to people with all different kinds of illnesses. And, you know, it's an illness sometimes. So I don't even know the extent. I don't know what went on in her life. I wasn't there since the day she was born. So what am I to say?
Yeah.
You know, I'm just, you know, trying to give my 2 cents where I thought I could help.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with this season, everybody had something, because I feel like the theme was Find Your Grit, right? And so everybody had something that they were trying to work through, whether it was something in the past, something they had to deal with presently. And so, you know, with Allison, I can't remember her exact story from what she shared, but there was something that she was dealing with. And so I think her actions were probably a result of, you know, the things that she was going through, and she felt that that's what she needed to do. And
That's how they say actions cause reactions.
Sure, absolutely.
And I mean, I know we've all ripped on her like really bad this whole season.
Yeah.
But you know what? That's also, like we've said, it's TV magic. They love to make people look,
Of course. Of course.
you know,
Right, we see
like
what they want us to
something that
see.
they're not. So
Right.
Speaking of Carla,
speaking of,
were you really like, because if they did the way it was edited, it made it seem like you were like, don't mess with me, like.
but I never got that from her. I just got it like if she had something to tell you, she was gonna say it, and a lot of people
Like
don't
not
like that
pulling any
because they're so
punches.
sensitive. You know?
Yeah, once I had saw, like, a lot of them were very sensitive because I saw the crying, and I'm like, what is, you know,
Why-
I come from the hood, you
what
don't
is- what is
cry.
tears?
Why are you
Like,
crying?
why you crying?
don't cry in the hood.
Yeah, and to me, I was there because I needed to learn how to work on a team, but also I had dealt with a lot of loss. Yeah, I did share about what my sister-in-law
Right.
happened, but a few years prior, you know, a family member of mine's committed suicide, and then one was gunned down by her ex-husband in the military. So, you know, there was all kinds of stuff going on with me, and I was back here trying to rebuild myself. But I hadn't had that same drive, you know, that hunger. So I was trying to get that hunger back. That way I could, you know, leave there and start a new career and really just, you know, make something out of myself with all the investment I had done with my education and with everything else.
Word.
Someone found her grit.
Someone.
Absolutely.
Oh, by this is okay, and this is what I actually did, which they did not air. I read my Bible every day because we do go to church every Sunday, and sometimes I go 2 or 3 times a week because I
Praise
need it.
God.
Girl, I just went to church yesterday.
Absolutely.
Man, that's why I don't pop off on nobody.
Yeah.
like y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get
Jesus
it. It's
inside.
I got I
When you're
my-
about to, you're just like,
Jesus is inside. Shout out to
Well,
Carla's boyfriend. He's Anthony's over here like, yeah, we need to go back to church. Still
No,
some more
but
to work
I thought you were gonna say shout out to
No, he never sees me pop off. He never,
Never.
right? I never pop off. Like, I do
He's
not
like-
act crazy. He's like, you're not. Like, no, I just don't react because, you know, I just put on my little worship music and I'm like, Jesus, help me. Jesus.
I need
to
you.
go off on
Hey, I
somebody.
need you. I need you right now.
So there, of course, and I did a lot of Bible studies with Gigi.
Really?
Actually,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because remember we had no cell phone, no TV, no
Yeah.
nothing, right?
Of course.
So I would get up, listen to my worship, put on my music, go for my run. Once my run was over, Gigi was already heading over there. Like, what are we gonna eat? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna eat?
Well, that's what I was going to ask is about any of the bonds that you might have created with people that weren't on your team, with people from other teams.
Oh, yeah.
That you might have gravitated towards. Is Gigi one of them?
Oh, Gigi was my bestie since the first day. Like, as soon as me and her both ran in heels to find a place to sleep, we got together, right?
Yeah.
And then right away, she, like, starts to, like, give me why she's there and stuff like that. And I'm like, and I hear and I'm like, oh, baby. No, I'm about to help this girl. Like, I got you. Come over here. You sound like I sounded when I was your age. So, you know, I told, you know, a lot of stuff. Like, I was here and I was like, you know, you don't have to prove yourself to nobody. I was like, look at you. I was like, you're 18 years old. You're getting it. You're doing what you got to do. And I was like, you're not a bad person. I was like, yeah, you've made some mistakes. But I was like, that doesn't define you. And the best thing you can do to show people up is succeed.
Yep.
There it is.
Very true.
Let's talk about this challenge that unfortunately got you put into the elimination. So you had to put your team's balls into an opposing team's basket, right? And whichever team basically is left standing, then they win. And this is actually the first time John Cena pointed out that the teams could work together.
Right.
Because normally as a team, you work as your team and that's it. You try to get your team to the finish line or whatever the case is. This time you can work together. And so, of course, you all went against Grady's team, Team Green. Rightfully so. I feel like that was needed to happen. Was the consensus, I mean, we kind of saw like, you know, a little talking here and there, and Grady was like, oh, well, they're coming for us.
Right.
And he kind of knew right away. So you guys, you know, obviously did that. And then it came down to you and your girl, Allison. And you're vying for that last spot. First of all, I thought for sure Allison was not going to make it. I just felt like she's going into elimination. She's the only one on her team. It's it. She pulled it away. And you guys were, I mean, obviously it's edited, but how long were you doing that where it was just you two?
Oh, man.
Was it like
we
forever?
went in, we both don't got no good shot.
Yeah.
Well, and
I'm going to be honest. I could play ball, you know, I could shoot hoop and whatnot, but like to, you know,
That's different. That's not what everyone's
that
saying.
it depends on my day. Like sometimes I'm like
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. I'm like everything's going, nothing but net. And then some days I'm like, oh, where is the ball? Like what? Like I'm like, you know. And I was
And
like,
granted, this is not basketball.
And
This
everyone's tethered by those bungees, so it's getting
So it was-
harder and harder each
Exactly.
time.
Yeah, and to me, I think I had to put because like in the beginning, I was making a lot of shots. I was putting a lot of energy into it. And so, you know, and I was hearing as I was watching the episode, Chloe was like, she's getting tired. And I was getting tired because I overexerted myself.
At the beginning.
Yeah.
Gotta keep that
And
pace.
so, right.
Yeah.
And so Allison still maybe had a little bit more energy. She didn't have a better shot than you. She just kind of maybe lasted longer, would you say? Energy-wise, when it came down to it?
No, I think maybe she probably just kept a pace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like some people, like, you know, I do the same thing. Like you go out the gate, guns blazing, and
Yeah.
then like you're halfway through and you're just like,
oh, I should have took my time.
Well,
Like,
the ideal
I thought you guys
solution-
said aggression. Wasn't this aggression?
The ideal
I was like, I
solution
went
was-
aggressive.
It was the name of the game.
You'll nail
Right,
it each time.
right.
Exactly.
So that's why I was
Theme
like,
was
you know,
aggression.
and then too, I'm a lot littler, so you know, to get over there, I had to like really throw my little self.
Gotcha.
Like she, you know, she's a pretty tall woman. Well, you know, I'm little. I'm like Ricky little.
I'm Ricky little.
Ricky little. Ricky's not that much shorter than me.
Really?
Yeah.
So, like I said, she ends up taking it. So she is safe, and then that caused Chloe to then pick, you know, the rest of the people that are going in. We kind of discussed that. She ended up picking George and picked Herman from the opposing teams to go against you. And I don't know. I mean,
Well, what did you think about all the alliances that were trying to go all over the place?
Well,
between Burke and Grady trying to work together, and then
well,
Chloe
see,
and Ricky.
Well, there's a good question, because there was a situation where they thought it looked like Chloe and Ricky thought that Burke and Grady were doing an alliance, but that was not the case. From what I gathered, is they were trying to say, we don't want any of the cadre to go home. We know the girls or the women, they only have one person.
Right.
So I don't want any of them to go home. Let's me and you duke it out because we have players. But it seemed like Chloe, when she was ear hustling, she seemed like
I love it. I say ear hustling.
I mean, that's what she was doing.
I did see the
when
episode
she was
again.
doing that, yeah, she was just
yeah.
like, oh, they're plotting against us. So she just assumed they're trying to get us out because we only have one teammate. So I feel like there wasn't really, you know, an alliance. I think it was just something that was misinterpreted. There was obviously them working together to get rid of Grady's team, which
Well,
should've
sure.
done.
I mean, and
That
that's
needed to happen.
just
that
like
needed to happen.
that's obvious. Yeah,
That needed to happen, but I think there was definitely a misconception with that.
But now, what did you think about Ricky feeling kind of betrayed by Chloe picking the strongest people to go in? Because that's kind of what I had interpreted as her saying, like, look, whoever it is, we'll put Hannah or Gigi in there.
Right.
You know?
Well, she definitely felt betrayed.
Sure.
Absolutely.
But
And,
did you think she was right in feeling betrayed?
I don't think so.
What do you
No?
think? What do you think?
No.
What? Go on.
At the end of the day,
Uh-huh.
it's a game. Okay?
Sure.
Everyone's going for the money.
Okay.
Okay, number 2. Number 3, I don't like if you're a cadre, you should have enough confidence in your person that you could be like, you know what? Like they can go against anyone. I do feel like once you put out those bad vibes or once you put out that negative energy, it just sets the mood. So what if she was just like, you know what? You're going against these two like really, strong guys. Just keep at it. You've been able to do it before. You've done it. You've done this. You've done that. But why do you got to go in there so negative, crying? Then you got to pull her aside, talk to her, crying. Then the other one's crying. Then we got a cry fest going on. It's just, you got to trust your people. I don't think she should have been crying. And I think, I think Ricky's a badass and I think she's a badass and, she's gone against other people. So that's why I said, like, weren't you like a little upset that she was like so upset and like, hey, why didn't you put the weaker people in?
I don't think she was upset about
if I was there, I'd be like, put the...
No, well,
She was upset-
hear me at Ricky's defense. They were sleeping in the same bed. They was like homies,
damn.
They're Marines. They're
was like, wait,
Marines,
yeah.
okay?
Right.
They're Marines and they're women, okay? So you gotta understand. Come on, you already know how we get.
I know, but I don't think
you
she...
already know that's.
I mean, I know we're
She was,
emotional.
she was more upset about her going back on her word than not putting in the weak people.
I don't even think it was a word. I think it was a fact that Chloe's like, I didn't say that. And that's what probably set her off.
that probably
but
made it 10 times worse.
that's probably what set her off.
I think okay. This is my thing. First of all, I think Ricky really cared about you as her as you being on her team, and I feel like when Chloe decided to put the two strong people in against you, not that she didn't feel like you couldn't do the job. I don't think that was it at all. I think it was a situation where, first of all, this is your third time going in. Let's say that already. You're the last person. She knows that. Chloe knows that. She also has one more person. So why would you give her the hardest time to do that when you could have easily picked two other people that may not have been as hard to overcome to give her the best fighting chance to stay in the game? Because obviously they knew that, and John Cena said this, you all didn't know this, but they knew that if, you had the last person and they're going.
Oh, no, we knew that.
Oh, you knew?
We knew
That's.
that.
I figured someone had to. have.
Someone had to.
It was like
Was that the inside
social
thing?
hour. Yeah.
Really?
At one point,
Ain't no
you ain't
secret.
got nothing to do.
Right.
You got nothing to do. So it's like everybody's ear hustling.
Oh, yeah. I'd be like, what?
What did he say?
What?
Oh,
Was that-
John
Can you
Cena
say
said
that?
what?
Nothing.
I would go, no shame. Can you say that a little louder? I didn't hear you very well.
So you guys knew. Okay.
So we knew. So,
But yeah,
it
but I
was
feel
what it
like,
was. At the end of the day, we're trying to stay there. That's $250,000. So I was trying to stay there.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I think that's where Ricky was with Chloe. And like you said, you made a great point. They're Marines, they're women, they, like you said, they were close. And so it's almost like, yo, why would you do that to me? We're close. Like, it wasn't like if Grady would have done that, it wouldn't have been the same situation.
Right.
Because they don't have the same relationship.
Especially if the assumption is that, look, Grady and Burke are teaming up. Even if that wasn't the case, that's
Right.
the
Well,
assumption.
see, I didn't even know that they had, like, they were like sisters. They were like homies. I didn't even know that.
Well, I mean-
Because even on the show, it doesn't really allude
we
to
didn't
that.
really get that,
Well, it
yeah.
didn't show,
No,
it
we
didn't
didn't.
show that Gigi was like 24/7 with me.
Yeah, it
she
didn't
was
show
like-
that
it looked
either,
I was
like-
just like an
I didn't
angry
get that
loner. And I was like,
They did. I was
an
like,
angry loner. I was reading my Bible and working out, and I was cooking for everybody.
Really?
They didn't tell you that. A lot of people
Damn.
didn't know how to cook. So my way is typical Hispanic. I'm not. I
You're
may not
cooking at
talk
12.
to you, but I'm gonna be cooking for you. I'm gonna make
Right.
sure you fed. That's me telling you, mijo, I love you.
Yeah.
Like I'm here. I got you.
Yeah,
I got you. I got you. I may not.
I don't like arroz y frijoles. Well, that's okay.
But
You're
here-
gonna eat it.
Yeah, but after the challenge, I'm like, okay, so what do you guys want?
What?
Like, I'm already cooking for
You already
everybody,
bought it.
and that's my way of showing love. And but maybe the culture barriers or stuff like that.
Right.
You don't probably know that because you're from the hood, and
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like everybody's mom is like, come on, mijo, come to the house.
Absolutely. 100%. No, I get it.
hungry.
I get it. I know. I was
I
like,
didn't get to
wait,
eat at work today.
It's like, can we get some?
I didn't get to eat at work.
All right.
You didn't get no wings?
No, I
No
got no
wings?
wings.
No wings. Some arroz con pollo. That sounds good.
Oh, wow.
My mom
No, I
made some fricassee
Did
last
you?
night, and then tonight we're making ropa vieja.
No, I made shrimp fajitas before I came here. Yeah, he gets culinary meals every night.
There
You
you
didn't
go.
bring any?
You know,
Ty?
he's like,
a big
yeah.
man.
You
He's a
didn't
big man. I
bring
gotta
any?
make. I was thinking about it, but I was like, is that too, like, I was
No.
just thinking about it. And then he ate them all. So,
So there was not enough to bring anyway.
Okay, so it's his fault.
Thanks, Anthony.
We're not gonna blame it on her.
Thanks, man. No, it's all good. It's all good. It's Anthony's fault. That's what it is. That's what I'm saying.
he
I'm
works
hungry.
all day, though.
I'm hungry.
You
all
know,
the
Okay.
truth.
you
All the
know,
truth
he
coming
works
up.
all
Right.
day. He works really hard. He
There
works
you
like
go.
12-hour days, 6 days a
Oh.
week. Like,
I
he's,
work hard too. Just
he
saying.
does manual labor, though. He's
cool.
like,
That's cool.
he surprises me. I'm like, man, I feel lazy compared to him sometimes.
So he gets all the shrimp fajitas, basically.
Well, he gets anything he wants.
Oh,
I'm
hey,
cooking
hey.
and cleaning and
Glory,
everything.
glory.
You know?
All right.
That's what I'm saying. I'm such a dictator, but I know how to bow down to a good leader.
Oh, hey.
You
can
got
quote
to.
Yes.
Can we
You
quote
got-
There's
that?
that poke quote.
Yes.
Breastfoods right
I
there.
know.
Yes.
Like to me, there is some friends like with Yvette. What I said,
Mm-hmm.
Yvette to me seems like such a strong, good woman, and I know she would guide me in every right direction. So I'd be like, yeah, Yvette, we're gonna do this. Okay, cool.
Let's
Like
roll.
I'm down. Like if I trust your leadership.
But see, I like that, and I want women to know it is okay if you care about someone and you love to someone. Yes, you can cater to them, and you could still be a very strong and independent woman, and it's not frowned upon. Okay, so if you like to cook for someone, guess I hold it.
There you go. You
Hey,
got
They
it.
don't like it.
You got
I
it.
know, well, to me, I get made fun of because I'd be like, oh, it's 6 o'clock. About time I go home, I gotta go cook dinner. My sisters be clowning. And I'm like,
It's just you grew up like that. Like we grew up like that. My mom always had my food ready for my dad,
Yeah.
serve my dad. So
It's all good. I think it's all good.
Yeah.
I want somebody.
it's all good.
It's all good. It's all good. I did love going back to that challenge real quick. I do love that moment where Grady was like, "All right, let's team up," and Burke is like,
Oh, yeah.
nope." Grady's like, "Well, all right then,
On our own.
moving on."
There it is. No, that was a good moment. That was a good one. And I mean, okay, so Carla, I have to ask you this because in appearance, we talked about this the whole season. We feel that Grady stacked his team. It seemed like he stacked his team. He tried to defend his reasoning for doing that, but what is your take on that?
to me, I just worried about myself.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, you
Okay.
stacked your team, bro. You had the opportunity, so did all of them.
Right.
So, you know, he did what he had to do. At the end of the day, it's a competition. That's what
Yeah.
everybody, like, I'm like, I have that ingrained in my head. So I'm thinking everybody's in competition mode, even though everybody, like, kept shying away from the fact. Like, at the end of the day, one person's going to win this money.
Right.
Would you have
So-
done the same thing if you were in his position?
I don't know, because at the end of the day, I did choose Ricky because I was really trying to work on myself. Because, you know, obviously, look, I did good.
Sure.
So, I did good. I learned something,
There you
right?
go. We gotta grow. Jesus, got the Bible, anime,
Jesus, Bible,
and
food,
fajitas.
cooking.
Oh man, it's going down. Miss Compton is grown up.
About time, right?
I wanna go. You mentioned it a little bit, but I do want to touch on that just real quick about when you did open up, because to us, and now I know that, you know, like you said, they didn't show your relationship with Gigi a lot, but it did seem like they painted you, you know, with editing a certain way. But we did see you open up to Allison about losing your sister-in-law to cancer. What made you in that moment open up to her at that point?
Because I felt she needed it. I felt she needed to. A lot of times when you suffer a loss like that, especially death, a lot of people can't understand that pain unless you've been through similar pain. It's one of the, you know, hard. That's really what makes and breaks some people. And that's why, you know, I saw she was going through that, and I just wanted to tell her, like, look, I felt that too, and this is how I handled it. I don't know how you're gonna cope with it, but, you know, this is how I cope with it, and maybe that could help her.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah, that was, I mean, that was good. Now, was that, based on, like I said, with editing, was that the first time you opened up to someone?
Oh no,
No?
me and Gigi from the beginning.
Y'all
From
was-
the
y'all was
beginning,
tight.
I let her know, and especially Scarlett too, because as Scarlett says, she didn't have a relationship with her mom.
Right.
Okay, I'm one of 7 kids, and my mom's a single mom.
Oh,
So and I'm the youngest girl. I'm number 6. So it was always too animosity with my mother, and there's especially with my mom. I had to understand that she did the best. There was too many mouths to feed. Too many mouths to feed. And with my sister-in-law, why I took it so hard too, because she was such a good mother. And so I always wanted a mom like her.
Yeah.
And then when she told me, you get one mom. You decide what kind of relationship you want. You gotta. And so every time Scarlett would say something, I was like, man, I'd be calling my mom every day.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't answer. I would show up on her. Like, I worked. But thankfully now, like, me and my mom are tight. And social media, my mom's my biggest supporter.
Really?
My mom goes to all my beauty pageant things. She
Dope.
is like Carla #1 fan. And I worked for it. But I opened up with Scarlett about that because that's something too. Like, it's hard. If a woman doesn't have a good relationship with her mother, it shows. It's one of the most important relationships because she's showing you how to be a woman. And you need to have, like, and I just had my mom. I didn't have a father. So my mom is my, my support system. Like, when the world is completely against you, she's the one person where I'll be like, Mommy, like, I can't right now. Like, talk to me. And, that's home.
absolutely.
Right.
So I, was like, Scarlett, you need to, you ain't got your daddy no more. Like, you got to work on it. Like, your mom ain't dead. Some people wish their mother was alive.
That's what I tell people a lot. People wish and like they would literally die to have both their parents. Does she fix anything with them?
She's working. She's
Good.
working it out, and it's a process.
Yeah,
A
it
lot of
takes
women,
time.
it's that's a whole nother ball of wax, man. Like, it's difficult, but yeah. And no, I opened up with her. I opened up with Richard. With Richard too, I cooked a lot. I showed Richard how to cook.
You did.
Richard
You
didn't know how to cook.
No.
No, and I was like, man, when you go back to your wife, I'm gonna make sure you can cook her a good meal.
There you
I was
go.
like, I'm gonna get you. And he lost 40 pounds.
While he was there.
See, I told you
Yeah,
it
so
was
he
more
lost 15
weight that
pounds.
he lost.
15 pounds, and I hit him up. I'm like, how you doing? He's like, you're gonna be so proud of me. I'm still losing weight, and he lost 40 more. And I was like,
Word.
Okay.
and it was every day. He already had a system. I'm like, okay, you already know. We're gonna have chicken with vegetables, or we're gonna have this or that. And he already knew what to take out. He already knew what to cut up. And I was like, that way, when you leave here,
Right.
your wife is gonna be so happy with you.
Yeah.
And because he was also helping me throughout the season too,
Really?
because he was married. He's been married to his wife, for a really long time. And to me, I've never had like a male friend like that. So I actually, throughout the show, opened up to him because I had just got dumped right when I went on the show.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't tell that about my story
I
either.
sure didn't.
So yeah, I was on and off with somebody for 7 years. And
Damn.
so, yeah, I know. And so Richard, I confided in him and was like, he's been married for a long time and he has a happy, good relationship with his wife. And so we talked about that and he worked with me. So, like, I got a little bit from everybody, like, even including Gigi. Gigi's such a positive person, and considering, right after a breakup how you feel, and then,
Right.
you just left your job, and then your living situation wasn't the greatest. So I, and the fact that I woke up and all she was a little ray of sunshine. And that's all you need sometimes. You need somebody with a good smile and a good attitude.
That's
and
true.
she's all team you. She was
Yeah.
like all team me. So I was like, love her. Love her. Thank you, Jesus.
Well, I'm so glad that you're here, that you can tell us this, because I feel like the fans are feeling some, just
Yeah.
like we were. It was just like, man, this girl's hardcore, and didn't seem like you had much empathy, and until this, seeing that happen,
Right.
this episode. So yeah, I'm glad that it was a different situation. Let's get into this elimination challenge. So this was an interesting one. Seemed like it was pretty difficult. You had to hold on to this rope that was attached to this box that's at the end of this, kind of dolly thing, and the box was half of your body weight.
Right.
And you had to hold it while you were positioned in the water. So, I mean, is there anything, and I'm missing, like...
Yeah, you're missing a malfunction of the game.
Oh,
okay,
no.
Tell us that.
Yes.
Oh, we love
Okay,
to-
so they put us in the water, right? And then the game malfunctioned. So, again, I got sick for the first episode because I was wet, and then
Right.
I got sick because of the water or whatever, so it was cold again, and then I put in water, and then I had to wait on a platform cold for 20 minutes, and then I got put back in the cold water.
Oh no!
Yeah,
What was it that
that
malfunctioned?
Apparently one of the balls wouldn't drop, so it got stuck, so we had to wait like a good 20, maybe 30 minutes
For them to
for
fix
the
it.
fix the
Damn.
malfunction, and we were all wet already
because you were in the water.
Yeah, so I was already like super cold, and
How were you positioned in the water? Like, were you?
That's I was trying to wrap my head around like the
because you're holding-
logistics.
yeah.
Was there
Yeah.
like a rope around your ankles while you were pulling on the other rope? Like, how did that work? Because they said it was pulling on you, or did you guys have like something wrapped around your waist where the cord was connected?
Yeah, how did this pulley system work?
I just remember holding on.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just remember we had to hold on. No, I forgot. Yeah, it was pulley system from the back.
Okay.
Okay.
So that way,
So it was
we
like a
were
harness.
Yeah, like a harness, and we were
Okay.
like
I was like,
grabbing.
how
We
are
were
you, like,
holding our
because I
box
think- Right,
fist. Yeah, so if we held up, the box stayed up.
Got it.
If we let go, the
the
box
box.
fell.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
there was a harness
Got it.
holding you
Yes.
inside the water while you're holding the box.
Yes.
And then you have to hold on. And so, you know,
would've
obviously
lost.
it was difficult. And when you started to struggle a little bit, do you think that it was because of fatigue, or was it because like you were cold? Like you said, you didn't do well with water.
Oh, my body was shutting down.
It was shutting down.
Oh, it was straight up like, you know, there's only so much I could push myself.
Sure.
I was already in like a bad condition.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. My mind always outdoes my body.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the case there.
That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. So let the box go. And then...
Oh, no, I kept it slipped. I kept going.
Oh.
I was
Was that
not
it?
letting it go. That's why I was getting mad. I was like, ah!
Oh,
No!
And you can
You're
see
not
that on her
going.
face too.
I was like,
Oh,
no.
like, oh.
And then I'm still like, I was holding it.
I
And
mean, I didn't mean that you
slammed.
were like, okay, box. You're like, you struggled,
That
obviously.
was a part of $1 million. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, money.
Come back.
No,
Come back.
I'm like, I'm so close.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was, I mean, it seemed like it was very tough, and it was like, yeah, you didn't want to let that go.
No, that's like dropping money on my head.
Exactly,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
no-
like,
no other challenges.
250, there goes on the floor. Like, no.
No other challenges were that symbolic.
And I
where
feel
you
like
had to
John
drop
said that,
the
like-
box into the.
And John was basically saying, like, you're going to drop 250,000.
Right.
Well, that's how I felt with the ball, too. I was like, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but then also, too, when I zoned out, I pretended that was my nephew.
Did you really?
Yeah, my
Oh,
nephew,
okay.
I am like guard dog. Like I am hands down.
Because you did. You sure did zone out during that one.
I zoned out because
Yeah.
I pictured my nephew Isaiah. Okay, and I did keep a book in my, when I was doing my Bible studies. The 26 nephews and nieces I had.
Damn.
I wrote them all down.
Oh my
And I had, so every time I was thinking about every one of them and every reason why I was still here and why I was going to keep fighting, because I knew I had to better myself to be a better auntie. And when I was holding that up, I just was like, okay, what will I never drop? Isaiah. He's my great nephew too. So I love my nephews, but that's my great nephew. That child could do no wrong.
Wow.
He can key up my Mercedes and I'm still like, you can do no wrong, man, Papa Ben.
Word. Now, you made a statement, and I wanted to ask you about this. As you were going to ring out, you said that you didn't have as many problems as everyone else. What prompted you to say that?
Because there's certain issues already that these people, like the basis of everything I've gone through in life has made me a very tough person. Now I just need to know how to be like more nicer. Like I need to learn,
Compassionate.
yeah, be more compassionate. Because even though, you know, I'm so tough, it's because where I grew up, I gotta understand not everybody in the world is like that, but everybody is a story themselves.
Right.
And it's just like without each other, we could never survive. Like we're so much stronger as a unity and as a group, and I gotta understand everybody of that group if I want to succeed in life.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, I think that's good. I see where just now and watching you and you know, talking with you versus where you've been. And I think if you could recognize the growth in you as you have,
Right.
Like you said, like, look, I got this man and I got, you know, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Speaking of, we do have a few more minutes. What are some of the things that you're doing now that the show stopped airing or filming and you're obviously here in LA? What are you doing?
I'm finally pursuing acting.
Okay.
Like I've wanted to be an actress for such a long time, and I actually started looking at schools 3 years ago.
Okay.
And now that, you know, well, I said peace out to my job, I was like, well, right now is the perfect opportunity. Being out there made me realize it's now or never.
Right.
And, you know, seeing Gigi on her hustle and her pursuing being a model and an actress too, I was like, you know what is stopping me? It's like, I need to stop, you know, thinking I need to be on survival mode, because I'm not in survival mode anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not on the streets. I'm not homeless. I'm good. But, you know, I need to get out of that mindset and just live my life. And so since then, I have been pursuing acting, so look out for me on that.
There you go.
And I still want to do more charity work. Like when I was doing the pageantry, I did the pageantry because I did a lot of stuff with American Cancer Society.
Okay.
I was heavily involved in doing stuff with them, and because I turned, you know, my pain into productivity and volunteering and speaking at all their fundraisers and anything they had going on. I'm like, sign me up.
Right.
You know, I'm the worst case scenario of what cancer does, but I want to help. How can I help?
Nice.
And so I'm still still being involved, because you got to bless others. You know, the biggest thing is being able to be a blessing, and you know, God sees.
Absolutely.
He
Absolutely. Shout out to Carla.
Get it?
Yes. I love it. Josh, can you cue the good music for
That sweet,
participants, please?
After. Oh yeah.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV.
You can't participate.
Right. Predictions just this part of the thing.
Right. So we need Carla to, you know, unless you want to tell us. I mean,
You know, I can't say nothing.
Unless you want to spoil
I
it.
love John Crow. I will never, ever get on his bad side. Ever.
Word.
That's the homie.
that's the home. All right. So we have basically the finales next week. And it's going to be, you know, 2 hours. So they're going to, obviously a lot's going to happen.
Right.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. Who do you think is taking it? Now, we didn't mention this, but Herman, of course, everyone that's watching this should have watched the show. Herman was the one that prevailed. And so he's now back in the game. Yourself and...
So that means George Foreman's out.
George Foreman's out. And so so he's back. And so you have the rest of the cast of characters. Who do you think's taking it? Start with you.
I'm gonna go with my boy Chris.
Yeah?
I'm gonna go.
Chris?
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
I love Chris.
I think nobody will see him coming. You know, it's a perfect dark horse. I think Herman, I think is the obvious choice, but I don't know. I think Chris will come from behind.
Okay.
Yeah, not even from behind, but he'll go from being the last one picked to winning this whole
Yeah.
thing.
Okay. Okay.
Cinderella story.
Exactly.
What you got?
Well, obviously, I'm definitely going green team.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna be one of them.
Who's left now? Who's left from the green team?
We got Herman, Gigi, and Michael.
And Michael.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go Gigi,
Okay.
Gigi.
Okay.
just because no one gave her the benefit of the doubt
Right.
the whole season. Okay, and
Well,
that
from day
From
one, you're
Jump
like,
Street.
all right.
from Jump Street, no one gave her the benefit of the doubt. She had fake eyelashes on. She had acrylics on. You know, she can't do this. She can't do that. So I'm gonna go Gigi if I have to pick somebody else.
Okay.
And it's
Okay.
not Gigi. It's gonna be Herman. But
All
once
right.
again, it's gonna be the green
gonna be the
team that
green
wins
team.
this year.
Green team. Yeah, I'm definitely have to go green again. I'm gonna have to say Herman, and the reason why I say Herman is because a few things. He's the one came out of the challenge this last time. Also, we didn't talk about
that
it.
eagle.
Yeah.
He channels the bald eagle somehow. The
I love
golden
that
eagle,
thing.
bald eagle, whatever.
Love that thing.
We didn't talk about it, but his folks came to visit.
That was so cool. Absolutely.
And that was something that was major for him. And then him getting kind of the go ahead, like, look, I don't want to do this arranged marriage. I understand how the culture works, or what have you.
Revealing all of his
And
tattoos.
So, right, exactly. So I feel like he had a major breakthrough in that moment, and I feel like that's good momentum for him to do that. Plus, you know, he's got that little situation, possibly. I mean, we're trying to get it out of her. But
I did mention it last week at one point. If you watch last week's episode, there's a close-up shot of him, and he has Melanie written on his arm, or written on his hand.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Those two
Really?
were seen canoodling at Camp Grit.
Oh.
No,
So-
if you guys can quote where I got that from.
Canoodle.
Mean Girls.
I like, they need to bring Canoodle back. I think canoe's a dope word.
I mean, really?
I'm just
I like
saying.
I'm pretty
canoodle
sure I
because it says
busted it
noodle.
out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I busted it out a couple weeks ago.
I think canoe is dope.
You know.
I think we should say it a lot.
Yeah.
We should say it a lot.
Actually, I think John Cena's going to win because you
Yeah.
can't see him.
You can't see it. Yeah, so that's my pick.
And he still never
So,
came.
Hey-oh.
Hey-oh.
Hey-oh, hey-oh.
He never came. It's because
Yeah.
I didn't wear my white dress.
He didn't. He didn't. I mean, maybe he can. We got one more. Maybe.
Yeah, season ain't over yet.
Yeah,
Season ain't over
I'm
yet.
just saying. Maybe it might
Not The
drop by.
Rock.
Yeah.
Either or. I had to.
The Rock has
I
come
had to
up
throw.
every
We did
single
not
episode.
talk.
He has nothing to
we
do with
did
this
not
show.
talk about him at all this episode,
Oh,
so I
thank
just
you.
had to throw him.
Thank you.
He's very
Gosh.
nice.
What?
The Rock is
gosh,
very
here we
nice.
go.
Okay, so
Here
I'm
we
touching
go.
her because then it's like 3 degrees of separation of The Rock.
Gosh. Oh, my
He's
God.
very nice.
Oh, I can imagine.
Very good people.
Very
Well,
good
John
people.
Cena was very good people too.
Yeah, I can imagine that too.
Okay. Anyway, enough of that.
I wonder if they put like bubbles over my head right now. Just like,
You two. But yeah, maybe we'll hold out. Got a week to go.
Yeah.
It's a possibility.
are you trying to tell me something?
saying.
Should I do like? Should I wear white? Should I curl my hair?
I mean, I'm just saying.
Should we do the red, white, and blue that we were meant to do last year? The only
Yes,
year did?
I'll wear my America dress again.
There
I
you
don't
go.
care.
Might work.
American
Just saying.
flag. I'll wrap myself in it.
I'm just saying. Could happen. Just saying. So, yeah, man. Well, that's our show.
That's it.
One more episode left. 2-hour finale. Well, we won't be doing 2 hours, but the 2-hour finale will happen. And we're going to have that. We will have guests on the show. Chloe Montesiro will be back in the studio with
There we
us.
go.
Will.
So she was our guest first episode. And if we can get this Skype situation situated.
Skype's doing this dirty.
Right.
2 weeks in a row.
Skype did us real dirty.
Exactly.
Yep.
We are scheduled to have the winner via Skype. Whoever that is, the winner will be joining us via Skype. So,
Hey, if I get my prediction, we're gonna be in for something
Right.
for a pun-filled episode.
yeah.
Puns all over the place.
Puns all over the place.
Get it.
But I like him. I like him.
Love
I like him
Chris.
a lot. I like Chris a lot, and he's a major supporter of our show. He's
Yes.
He's always
us.
tweeting the sweetest
Shout
thing.
So we're a little
shout
bit
out
biased.
to-
We're a little
shout
bit
out to
biased,
Chris.
but, you know.
He's dope. He's dope.
No big deal.
So yeah, but we'll see. But that's
Yes.
gonna happen. That's
Yes.
gonna happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. I've been your host, Lem Gonsalves. As always, you can find me at the Poet Saint. You can also check out my website, stayonthemic.com. Where you at, Yvette?
You can find me on Sports and Sass with 3 S's at Twitter and Sports and Sass with 2 S's on Instagram.
And Miss Carla, where can they find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook, and it's Carla_Mireles.
Mirales.
There you go.
Yes,
There you
Ty
go.
Matthews.
Y'all can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. The Lucha Underground After Show in just 1 hour. American Ninja Warrior After Show next Wednesday. Championship Wrestling from Hollywood every second and fourth Sunday of the month.
Second, fourth
Check
Sunday.
those local listings.
Get it. Until then, y'all, we'll see you. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.